Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling. The chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling. Patent pocket. Take the dollar, dollar. Can a damn soul stop it?
Here comes the new kid on the block. Hold on your bets. Here's where the buck stops. See, first of all, I'm stepping out on my own. About time I elevated to claim my own throne. Success in my blood, call it homegrown. Puerto Rican testosterone. Power and money got me crazy cocky. No longer need you, poppy. I know you're mad because you can't stop me. And if you wonder how this player done scooped your honey, I think she smell my cologne. It's called brand new money. Making major moves, making a damn thing funny. Pimpin' hood rats to Playboy bunnies. They see the. They see it. They see it.
Say what? Money. I'm global dollar, dollar, and roll without 50. Like to go out smelling fresh and looking spiffy. Don't like clean money, I want my wrist to be filthy. Plus with that retirement fund, I can't touch till I'm 60. So what am I supposed to do? Roll and do. Steady patting them pockets, sell them, stacking, holding two. Ching, ching, bling, bling.
Hello WWE Universe fans, welcome to my review of Monday Night Raw, because of course we all know that the night after WrestleMania is another global spectacular, particularly within WWE, because we all know Monday Night Raw is going to have a lot of surprises up its sleeve the night after the biggest WrestleMania, to say for the least. So let's have a look at some of the stuff that happened on Monday Night Raw. And starting right off the mat, we have Vince McMahon, making his usual comments about the fact that Shane McMahon failed to defeat The Undertaker. You knew Shane was going to come out after this, and thanks to his father, he had the chance to be in charge of Raw tonight. Obviously tonight only, but the question remains, will we see more of Shane after this week? Who knows? Hopefully he will show up again. You never know. And then, so with Shane McMahon now in charge, we have the first of our matches, which is the Tag Team Championship match, the first of our two title matches that takes place, where the New Day are defending the tag titles against Sheamus and King Barrett once again. And this is a very interesting match, because this match also has some very interesting interference from Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman. The Wyatt family show up. And I find it very interesting that the Wyatt family have chosen to target certain members of the Legion Nations. Of course, King Barrett was unable to get the victory for the tag titles, and then straight after the match, Sheamus, Rusev, and Alberto Del Rio literally turned their backs on King Barrett. So that pretty much states to them that basically King Barrett has pretty much been taken out of the equation of the Legion Nations, and that leaves Sheamus, Rusev, and Alberto Del Rio. And at the same time, they had to go through the Wyatt family, who literally took them apart, and the fans loved it. They loved the fact that the Wyatt family were basically the reason why the New Day are still the tag champions, but at the same time, they're against the Legion Nations. So does this mean that the three members of the Wyatt family are now good guys now? It seems to be pointing that direction, particularly from what we see from the pictures here. It certainly points to a Wyatt family face turn, and obviously after what they encountered with The Rock and Cena, it doesn't surprise me if this would lead to it. And then, of course, the next match is a Divas match. Well, I wouldn't say Divas match. I would say a superstar match involving Sasha Banks and Summer Rae, where we would see Sasha Banks pick up the victory in Summer Rae in her normal fashion of the Banks statement. And then, obviously, backstage, she talks about the fact that she lost that triple threat match, and she's still devastated by that whole thing. And, I was expecting Sasha Banks to win the match, but it's a shame that, thanks to the fact that Ric Flair caused her that opportunity to win the title, is just, I'm still annoyed by that whole result. But at least it was a good match, to say for the least. And then, of course, we have the first of our new, the first of the NXT stars making their debut on Monday Night Raw, and that name is Apollo Crews, who many NXT fans have been looking up to for the last couple of months, and he finally makes his debut against Tyler Breeze, a rematch from NXT TakeOver Respect back in October when Apollo Crews had his second TakeOver match. And of course, Apollo Crews managed to get the victory on his debut on Raw, and it was so cool to see Apollo Crews on Raw, because obviously he's going to be a big factor on the roster. He'll certainly will impress us, no question about it. He'll be amazing this year, no question about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Apollo Crews will have on his first pay-per-view match. Certainly be interesting. And then eventually this will lead into the Roman Empire's reign. Well, you could say the start of Roman Reigns' celebration as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. But of course, at the same time, he would be confronted by let's say he was confronted by 4 different superstars. He was confronted by Chris Jericho, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, and of course Sami Zayn. That's before Sami Zayn got hurt somehow. He got basically hurt backstage, which would obviously lead an empty space in the announcement that Shane McMahon made backstage that there would be a fatal 4-way number 1 contenders match to determine who Roman Reigns will face for the WWE World Heavyweight title. And I would assume this will be relating to Payback, as that will be the next pay-per-view on May 1st. And then we move across to another NXT call-up who's finally joined the main roster after his big win over the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and that is Brian Corbin, as he had his first opponent, Dolph Ziggler. They went through a double counter after Brian Corbin did the end of days right on the arena floor, which was, we all knew he was going to be physical with Dolph Ziggler. He literally beat the hell out of Dolph Ziggler, and you know he's going to be a main factor on Raw. He's going to do some crazy stuff on Raw, and I'm certainly looking forward to see whether this will lead into a rivalry. It seems to be the idea that we're heading to, so we'll certainly be looking forward to seeing what Brian Corbin has next up his sleeve. And then, of course, the next matchup, we have The Miz facing off against Zack Ryder for the Intercontinental Championship, due to the fact that The Miz was upset of Zack Ryder winning the ladder match, and he was coming close to winning. But the sad part about this match, he didn't win it fairly, because simply he had his wife Maurice literally slap the hell out of Zack Ryder's own father at ringside, causing Zack Ryder the distraction, so The Miz could take advantage with a skull-crushing finale, and he would become a 5-time Intercontinental Champion thanks to his wife Maurice. Now, does this mean Maurice is coming back to WWE? We are not sure with this, but I'm quite surprised that Miz would let his wife get the distraction for Zack Ryder so he can win. I certainly do believe this will lead to a rivalry between Zack Ryder and Miz for the Intercontinental title by Payback, no question about it. And then eventually this would lead into the coronation of Charlotte's Women's Championship celebration, due to her becoming the first Women's Champion, and you knew Sasha and Becky Lynch didn't like the looks of that, because they felt that one of them should have been the person celebrated. But at least Natalya gave Charlotte a piece of her mind with a sharpshooter. Remember, Natalya was close to winning the title, winning a championship off Charlotte back at Roadblock before the women's title got invented. But it's good to see that some divas disagree on Charlotte's victory, so it'll be interesting to see who will be the first to challenge her by the time we get to Payback. And then we move into a tables match where the Dudley Boys and the Usos collide in that match. And obviously the Dudley Boys, as they are table specialists, they would find a way to put the Usos through the table due to one of the Usos making a mistake. And then after that entire win, they would get confronted by the debut of Enzo Amore and Big Cass, who are the popular tag team in NXT, finally shutting the Dudley Boys up and finally perhaps setting up a feud between Big Cass and Enzo against the Dudley Boys seems to be the direction they could be leading to. And then eventually we move into the main event. Yes, the main event is a very interesting main event, a fatal four-way number one contenders match for the WWE World Championship on the opportunity on the line, where we would see AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, and surprise, surprise, a return of Cesaro shows up. That's right, Cesaro finally makes his in-ring return to have an opportunity at the WWE World's title. But at the end, it was finally the time for AJ Styles to get his opportunity at the championship after he beats Chris Jericho after his loss on Y2J. So that pretty much sets the tone for AJ Styles and Roman Reigns for the WWE World's Heavyweight title. Obviously, when that match is, we don't know when that match will take place, but we could speculate that it would likely take place during Payback on May the 1st. But it's great to see that AJ Styles is now on the road for his first WWE World's title. Can you imagine if AJ Styles is the one to beat Roman Reigns after he successfully won it? That would be huge stuff in WWE. But we'll see. We'll see where this will lead to. But until then, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Monday Night Raw. And it has been a very exciting WrestleMania weekend. And obviously, we will miss this for another year. But at least we've got more pay-per-views to look forward to, and the biggest party of the summer still to come, Money in the Bank. We've even got Extreme Rules, Battleground, so the fun doesn't stop here, I would say. So until then, guys, thanks for watching. Keep subscribing, keep sharing, and see you all for our next WWE coverage.